Hello, and welcome to the FrogWatch USA data entry tutorial. This web-based tutorial is a step-by-step orientation to inputting FrogWatch USA monitoring observation data into a newly registered or existing FrogWatch USA site, updating your previously submitted FrogWatch USA data, and tracking your personal history of participation in FrogWatch USA. FrogWatch USA's online data entry system is powered by FieldScope, an online data entry, mapping, and analysis platform developed by National Geographic specifically for citizen science programs like FrogWatch USA. A National Science Foundation informal science education grant supported the development of this platform, promoting people to input the important data they collect and to visualize those data across space and time. We invite you to complete the entire series of tutorials to experience FrogWatch FieldScope's full potential and to explore the FrogWatch USA dataset on your own. Join us in exploring FrogWatch USA data entry, mapping, graphing, and more. The FrogWatch USA data entry tutorial will take you approximately 25 minutes to complete in its entirety. You can start, stop, and return as often as needed. FrogWatch FieldScope can be accessed from the FrogWatch USA website or by entering this web address directly into your browser. Note that there is no www preceding the rest of the address. FieldScope is an Adobe Flash-based tool. Instructions for determining whether Adobe Flash is installed, as well as recommended settings for optimum performance, are available on the FrogWatch USA website. This tutorial is taking place on Google Chrome with the most recent version of Adobe Flash Player installed. Users of Apple tablets may use FieldScope in the Puffin browser. Please pause the tutorial here if you need to copy down the link before continuing. It can be helpful to create a bookmark to the site for ease of access. Okay, let's continue. Each time you visit FrogWatch FieldScope, you will start on the home screen. This is your starting point for entering data, exploring maps, and creating graphs. A help guide is available if you need it. You can also use the tabs at the top of the screen to switch between tasks. Click on the FrogWatch USA icon to return back to the home screen at any time. Upcoming events and project news are announced on the home screen. Anyone can visit FrogWatch FieldScope to explore data through graphs or maps without being logged in. However, in order to save your projects, you must have an account and be logged in. You must also be logged in to enter data, since FrogWatch USA volunteers are registered to the sites they monitor. Log in by clicking the link found in the upper right-hand corner of the home screen. If you are a new user, click the hyperlink in the prompt to register. The same information submitted by volunteers as part of the site registration process in the field appear in the new FrogWatch USA user signup. It is important that you enter an email address and password as part of the signup process, as they will become your login information needed for every time you enter FrogWatch USA data. Proceed with entering your email address and creating a password. You can tab between fields for ease of entry. You are required to enter your FrogWatch USA chapter at the bottom of the form. Chapters appear alphabetically in the drop-down, but you may enter unaffiliated here at the top of the list if you are not a chapter member. You may also denote your organizational affiliation if it is different from your FrogWatch USA chapter. Note that if you have previously participated as a FrogWatch USA volunteer, you will likely already have an account in FrogWatch FieldScope. If you try to register a second time, you will be prompted that you cannot create a new account with that email address, but that you can reset your password instead. An email will be sent to you containing instructions for resetting your password. If you are a returning FieldScope user or a returning FrogWatch USA volunteer, click the login link and enter your email address and password. Your username now appears at the top right-hand corner. If at any point you need to update your registration information, hover over your username and click on My Account. Go to My Saved Work to view maps and graphs created by you. You can delete that content from here as well. Let's return to the home screen. Under My Project Content on the home screen, you can see your maps and graphs, as well as your monitoring observations and sites. We are now ready to enter some FrogWatch USA data. The starting point for creating a site, updating an existing site, and entering or updating monitoring observations is the same. Click the Enter Data tab here at the top, or the Enter Data button in the middle of the screen. If you are not logged in, you will be prompted to log in at this time. Historic sites and data have been reviewed and imported into FrogWatch FieldScope. If you volunteered for FrogWatch USA and registered a site previously, you will be able to view and update it in the Data Entry module. You may also register and create a new site. FrogWatch USA wetland sites appear as frogs on the map. The number on the frogs represents a cluster of sites. Zoom in to reveal the individual sites. Do this by using the plus symbol, holding the Control key and hitting the plus on your keyboard, or scrolling up on the wheel of your mouse. Click and drag on the map to pan and adjust as you zoom. Hold the Shift key while clicking and dragging to both zoom and pan to an area quickly. Zoom back out using the minus button, holding Control while clicking minus on your keyboard, or scrolling down on your mouse wheel. The first step in the data entry process is to designate a monitoring site by selecting an existing location or creating a new site. Let's create a new site near the AZA office. I can search for the address of the office using the magnifying glass for ease of navigation. A single click within the search zooms and pans me to that location. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service National Wetland Inventory data layer appears by default to help orient you. Different colors represent different wetland types. But it appears that there are no wetlands nearby. Let's try visiting some adjacent parkland. I would like to create a site at this freshwater swamp. I can collect coordinates using a GPS in the field and enter them, or generate them here using FrogWatch FieldScope. Coordinates are generated when I click on the map. The coordinates update to reflect a new position each time I click. Note that the format for coordinates when registering a FrogWatch USA site is decimal degrees, and that the longitude, or westing, is a negative value. If I were to remove the negative from my longitude, my site moves to another hemisphere and I receive a prompt of my error. You cannot save your site with this error or if you are missing required information. If this is the case, the Save Station button will appear faded and inactive. Remember, if you are collecting GPS coordinates in the field, that they need to be in decimal degrees, have a negative longitude, and have a minimum precision of 4 decimal places. All of the information contained on the site registration form is found in the FrogWatch FieldScope data entry form. Assign a name to your site. Select something meaningful to you, but avoid generic labels or those containing personal information such as Rachel's FrogWatch site. One suggestion is to use the name of a nearby road paired with the wetland habitat type. Proceed with entering all known location and habitat information. Tab between fields for ease of entry. Characterize your wetland as part of the site registration and creation process. Generally, your wetland will fall within one of 3 land use types: rural, suburban, or urban. But you may select Other and provide a description in special cases. Select site habitat, wetland origin, water presence, and water source from the drop-downs. Only one entry may be selected per category. Add any additional notes for characteristics in the description. This is a good place to note other water source influences. Directions are important for verifying the site location and if data are used in additional investigations. Hit Save Station to finish creating your site. You are prompted with the option to save an image file of your site information. You are strongly encouraged to save a copy of your site registration for your records, as well as send to your chapter coordinator and AZA by emailing frogwatch@aza.org. It is recommended that you save a file name with an underscore of your last name, followed by an underscore of your site name. Your newly registered FrogWatch USA site now appears as a frog on the map. It also appears in the drop-down under My Stations, found in the Select Existing Station tab, as do others that you have registered or monitored. You can edit sites created by you at any time by expanding the station details, but if you wish to delete your site, you must flag it and indicate that in the comments for review. Let's enter a monitoring observation at a different site from the one we just created. You can do this by selecting from a list of all stations you have registered or monitored, adopting an existing site to monitor by selecting a site name from a list of all stations registered for FrogWatch USA, or by clicking on a point in the map to make a selection. Let's enter a monitoring observation at a site in Annapolis, Maryland. If you are monitoring at a site created by someone else and need to update the site registration information, you must also flag the site and include the necessary updates in your message that you submit. Click Next in the lower right-hand corner to proceed with entering an observation at the site. Any observations previously entered at the site will appear in the Observations window. Click on an observation date to review the monitoring visit data. If you submitted the monitoring observation, you can make edits and updates and resave the data. As with the site registration, you can save an image file of your monitoring observation entry for your records and to inform your chapter coordinator or AZA of updates to your data. Note that you will not be able to edit an observation submitted by another FrogWatch USA volunteer. A prompt appears to notify you. If a change needs to be made to a monitoring observation visit not created by you, or you encounter questionable data, you can flag the observation for review. Select Save to submit your comments for review by AZA, or click Cancel if you do not wish to flag the entry at this time. To enter a new monitoring observation visit at the site, click the New Observation link. All data you record on your field monitoring observation data sheet will be entered here. Enter the date of your monitoring visit by clicking on the calendar icon. Use the single arrow to change month and the double arrows to change year. Click on a day in the calendar to enter the date of your monitoring observation visit. Proceed with entering the start and end time of your monitoring observation visit. The time for both fields defaults to PM, since monitoring observations are to begin at least 30 minutes after sunset and conclude by 1 a.m. You can type the time or use the arrow keys to make your selection. Remember that FrogWatch USA monitoring observations are precisely 3 minutes in duration. The FrogWatch USA monitoring protocol is available online at the FrogWatch USA website. Continue entering weather data under Visit Information in the form. Air temperature can be entered in Fahrenheit or Celsius, and drop-downs are provided for all other data points. You must enter information under frog and toad observation in order to proceed. This is highlighted in red. Species are presented alphabetically. You can use the drop-down or type the first letter of the species name to make your selection. No species heard is at the top of the drop-down list. If you type N, it will be the first entry to display. The call intensity is also required. Select 0, no frogs or toads can be heard calling, if you are entering no species heard. If more than one species was heard, click the plus icon. You can do this as frequently as needed when multiple species were observed during your 3-minute monitoring observation. You may need to scroll down in the form if you are entering several species. I will indicate that I heard a green frog at this site at calling intensity 2. Species level identification is required for FrogWatch USA monitoring, but you may enter a subspecies level identification if you are confident that the subspecies is found in your area. Subspecies are listed with the species name first, followed by the subspecies in parentheses. For example, the northern green frog is found in Maryland. Click the minus icon to remove species lines. Lastly, include any pertinent notes about your monitoring visit. Examples are species heard outside of the 3-minute data collection window, observations of other wildlife, and environmental disturbances. After clicking Save to submit your monitoring visit information, you are prompted with the option to save an image file of your monitoring visit data. You are strongly encouraged to save a copy of each visit you enter for your records, as well as to send to your chapter coordinator and AZA at frogwatch@aza.org. It is recommended that you save a file name with an underscore of your last name, followed by an underscore with your site name, and finally the date of the monitoring observation. After submitting an observation and saving an image for your records, you will see your newly entered observation in the observation window to the right. You can continue entering additional monitoring visits by clicking the new observation link at the bottom of the form, or you can investigate your data using maps and graphs by navigating to those tabs. Remember that clicking on the FrogWatch USA logo will return you to the home screen. In addition to reviewing your site and monitoring observation data from the data entry screens, as we just did, you can view your most recent entries in My Project content. Click on the My Observations tab and an observation date as a shortcut for reviewing and updating your monitoring visit data. Under My Locations tab, click the name of a site to go directly to the data entry screen for entering new monitoring visits at that site or updating site information. There you have it. You are ready to review and enter FrogWatch USA data online. We hope you will take advantage of the opportunity to input and view your data in real time as well as track your participation. But don't stop there. Explore the nationwide monitoring network on your own by viewing our other tutorials. Examine relationships among species presence and activity with geographic, temporal, and weather-related factors through maps and graphs. And share your discoveries with AZA, your chapter coordinator, and others on FrogWatch FieldScope and the FrogWatch USA Facebook homepage. Thank you for your time and participation in FrogWatch USA.